I like that. I think that's cool. The Anal Bead got 50% base health regeneration instead of 5 per 5. Fairy Charm is, instead of 3 per 5, it's 25% base. Alright. Crystal and Brasser, or Brazier, I don't know how you want to say it. New, it requires Ruby Crystal plus the Anal Bead plus 20 gold. And total is 600. You get 200 health and 50% base regen there. Okay. Forbidden Idol, it costs 100 less, and it gives you 60% of your base regen instead of the 25% from the Fairy Charm, and it gives you that CDR as well. Tear of the Goddess, it costs 20 more gold, it gives you 25% base mana instead of 6 per 5. It gives you 4 mana, total mana per spell, up to 2 times per 8 seconds, grants 1 maximum mana per 8 seconds. So now it scales without you having to cast spells, but still, it's good to cast the spells, obviously. And reduced, okay. General context, your Chalice of Harmony, it costs 120 more gold and inherits null magic mantle, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, just gives you 50% base mana regen. It gives you an additional 5 MR. And instead of increases mana regen per 1% of 1% mana missing, it now restores 1.5% of missing mana every 5 seconds. We'll see how that goes. I don't really honestly know. The Unholy Grail costs 100 more, and you get 1.5 of missing mana every 5 seconds now. So it's just flat instead of, it scales the more you're missing kind of stuff. Excuse me. Mikhail's Crucible. Total is unchanged, and it gives you 100% base mana regen. And now, instead of increasing it, it is the same flat amount like the Chalice there. Greater Lens, blah blah blah. Okay, I just fixed a bug. New item, Righteous Glory. This takes a Catalyst of the Protector. I like this. Finally, another Catalyst item instead of Route of Ages, which I'm pretty sure is the only Catalyst item at the moment. And Crystal and Brasser, plus 700 gold. Its total is 2.5k. Gives you 500 health and 100% base health regen. Gives you a passive Valor's Reward. Upon leveling up, it still gives you that, what the Catalyst gave you, that buff. Now it gives you 60% move speed to nearby allies when moving towards enemies or enemy turrets for 3%. After 3 seconds, a shockwave is emitted, slowing nearby enemies' champion movement speed for 80% for 1 second. This effect may be reactivated early to instantly release the shockwave. So this item is really, really good for those, bruiser AP tops or whatever. Actually, no, it doesn't even have to be on APs. This gives, say, Mundo a chance. No, he wouldn't get that. That was a bad example. Forgive me. Pretty much it gives top laners, beefy top laners that would not build Route of Ages, an option to actually build Catalyst now, because now this is really, really good for tower diving or initiating, just because you get that crazy MS buff, and then you slow everyone by activating that charge there as well. So I think that's really cool. Warmogs, the recipe is changed from Giant Spell, Ruby Crystal, Anal Bead, and Anal Bead to Giant Spell, Crystal and Brasser, plus 300. The gold is taken down 330, health is taken down 200, and now it restores 1% of max health every 5. Health restore increases to 3% of maximum health if damage has not been taken within 8 seconds. So Warmog kind of scales up to be a Garen passive if you don't take damage. So you'll get healthier quicker out of combat there. Alright, Banner of Command, the Bach. it now instead takes Fiendish Codex and Blasting Wand. It takes Aegis of the Legion plus Fiendish Codex plus 280 gold. I like that personally. So now your tanky people or supports, instead of going for Locket, you can now have Locket and Banner of Command, which now makes your sieging even more greater with the Baron and the Elixir you can buy, and now probably Banner of Command is going to be seen more often. So now, sieging in a sense got nerfed with just champions, but sieging with minions is a whole nother level now, because minions are going to be 10 times more important when sieging in the late game with all these things with the Elixir, Baron, and this now. So you're going to have to save your minion waves if you're going to want to siege up in the late game here. It now gives 20 MR and 200 health. The AP is taken down a little bit with the CDR. It no longer gives the Valor aura, which I believe was the minion bonus there. This actually grants a unique aura, MR, and base health regen. I like that. And active greatly increases the power of a lane minion and grants it immunity to magic damage for 2 minutes. If you buff a cannon minion, the damage is increased, health increased, armor and MR, and size is increased. If you buff melee minions, yada yada, exact same thing. So obviously you want to use it on the cannon minion because it gets the most stats, but you can use it on every other minion now if you want. I like that. I think that's cool. New item, Raptor Cloak. It builds out of cloth armor and anal bead plus 520. Costs 1k, gives you 30 armor, 100% base health regen. Unique passive, Point Runner, builds up to 30% movement speed over 2 seconds while near turrets. Makes turret diving a little, can get to the turrets or champions and lock them down there. The Home Wrecker, aka Home Wrecker. It now builds out of Raptor's Cloak plus Kendrill Gem plus 750 instead of Ruby Crystal Blasting Wand. So they're making this more, they're making Wrecker and Banner of Command more suited to any general tank or support now. You don't have to be AP, which I really like. So it's gonna make it more of a, you know, wider purchase from every champion. No AP on it now, less health, but you get that health regen and CDR, and you get that passive from the Point Runner there. And the turrets are now gone for 3 seconds instead of 2.5, and it cannot be used on the same turret for up to 8 seconds if you build multiple. Alright, armor build pass, chain vest. It now requires cloth armor plus gold, and the total increases by 30. I don't know why I slipped up over that. Thornmail, it now is 100 less. Sunfire, it now costs 50 less. Warden's Mail now builds out of double cloth plus gold instead of chain plus gold. The total increases by 50, but you lose 5 armor. Damn. Randy's, it is decreased by 150, so that's where you see it. You don't get as much armor from the components of Rando and Zelman, but Rando and Zelman cost less now. But that means Warden or Frozen Heart got nerfed, so you gain less armor out of Frozen Heart, and it costs more. But Randoans overall got taken down some gold. So they're just trying to make that more suitable rather than Frozen Heart purchases. Null Magic Mantle costs 100 gold more, but gives an additional 5. So it's the exact same stats there. It's just a 25% increase to both the cost and the stats provided. They got rid of Negatron Cloak. Boom. Gone. Woo. So all of the builds that Negatron Cloak had now have a Null Magic Mantle instead. All hail the mantle. RIP Negatron Cloak 2012 to 2014. I don't know when it came out. Abyssal Scepter now builds out of Blasting Wand, Null Magic plus gold. I think that's dumb, honestly. I liked my Negaton Cloaks, man. Now it's going to be harder to build up some MR because you have to allocate 2 spots to it. And the magic resist is increased on the Abyssal Scepter. Null magic plus ruby crystal plus 300 gold for your Spectre's Cowl. It costs less, but you gain less. QSS, and now it takes that null magic plus gold. Costs less, that's huge, but you gain a lot less. So, in my opinion, QSS wasn't really ever used for the MR. You're like, oh shit, I'm an ADC. I gotta get QSS for the MR. If you needed the MR, you'd go bubble or something like that. You always get QSS for the active. So that active is now 300 gold cheaper. So that's pretty good there. But yeah, I don't know why they removed the cloak. I feel like that's kind of weird. Same with the Mercurial Scimitar. Stacking items. Soul Stealer now costs a little bit more. It starts with 5 stacks though. That's cool. And it loses half of its stacks when killed though instead of a third. Sword of the Occult costs more, starts with 5, loses half instead of a third. At 20%, you gain, or 20 stacks, max stacks, you gain 20% attack speed instead of 15% movement speed. Kinda cool. Removed Sword of the Divine, Executioner's Calling, and Atma's Impaler. What the hell? What just happened to my Sword of the Divine Alistair support? I'm actually furious. That item was so funny. I love that item, dude. I'm so upset. Alright, all this stuff doesn't matter. Excuse me. Yada 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 yada. New skins. We'll take a look at these real quick. Constable Trundle and Captain Volibear. Badass skins. Like it. Safecracker Evelyn. I like it. I already have other Eve skins though. Pickpocket Twitch. Literally looks like Sly or whatever the hell that raccoon is. I don't remember. That's Villain Alistair. Yeah, it was. That Battlecast Skarner is sick, nasty. Love that skin. Gonna buy that. Battlecast Kog'Maw. Pretty cool. Kog'Maw already has badass skins though. Blood Moon Callista. That looks pretty cool. And we went over everything. So that is actually every single, that's the table of contents there for you. So that is the patch. And thank you for watching that segment of the patch review. If you guys did enjoy it, be sure to let me know and we could do some more of it. But that was a huge preseason patch. Mainly it's all about that jungle, but a few items thrown in here and there.